G'day, mate.
Mate, it's taken me about 3 days to get here, to be honest with you. I've been grafting all day and I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, but g'day, mate. How are you?
Good day, mate. We're here in Sydney, mate, for the big one, Cambosis Wiley. And yeah, it's been a bit of a journey, I'll be honest with you, mate.
Great. There's been a bit of a change to the card, Ed. Can you talk to me about the main event with Cambosis?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's gone down incredibly well. I mean, when we first talked to George about this fight, I actually said to him and Jim, what about Jake Wiley as an opponent? Because we all know, like, if we're in the UK, all British fights work, as do all Australian fights. You've got a young kid, very good fighter, big puncher from Queensland, and you've got George Kambosos from New South Wales. You've got Kambosos has been there, done it all, won all the belts, and this other kid's coming up trying to take the crown from him. So it's a big night. Great undercard: Sky Nicholson, Tiara Brown, Shanika Johnson against Nina Hughes, Tera Moana. Don't forget to watch this Katiev, who is, I think number 6 in the Ring magazine already. Absolute beast, Chechen 175-pounder. And really good card, mate. So looking forward to it. Going to be a great night in Sydney.
Saw a little bit of back and forth with Sky yesterday. Yeah, she didn't
It's
look
good.
well.
Yeah, I think Tara Brown's talked a great fight. She's a good fighter. It's a very good fight. One of the best in the division. Sky's 12-0, Tiara's 18-0. Both got great amateur pedigrees as well. It's a real fight. And it's not going to be easy, but I expect Sky to come through and, it'll be a real statement because I think it's, like I said, I think it's one of the best fights in the division.
Got the rematch also with Shanika Johnson and Nina Hughes. Obviously, we know what happened last time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was what's it, an MC malfunction, shall we say? But
Yeah.
rematch is on.
Yeah, it's another great fight. 50-50 fight. I think Nina Hughes must win. She's on the road again. Shanika Johnson's a very good fighter, strong. And yeah, it's two women's world championship fights, great fights on a big night, big card in Sydney. It's going to come in, main event's going to be about 11, which is about midday your time. So Sky should be on about 10:30, 11, something like that in the morning. Tera Moana, Shanika before that. So tune in, live on the zone around the world.
Do people know who you are in Australia? Like, genuine question.
Big, no, big time.
No, actually, do they?
Yeah, big time. They love their boxing out here, mate. And if you mug me off like that again, I'll never do another
No,
interview
I'm
with you.
not saying that. I've just wondered because if
Yeah,
you,
they do. And there's a lot of Brits out here as well. So
yeah, but the natives, the
the
Australian, like,
natives know I am.
yeah.
I was walking out earlier for a bit of fresh air. Geezer came up to me, went, good eye, Eddie, yeah? I went, good eye.
Oh, imagine being a face in Australia. It's amazing. Well done,
That's what
mate.
we do, boy. Global.
Right, let's run through some stuff. Obviously, next week you got your Friday night show in Altrincham,
Yeah.
David, Matt Brown, Von Flynn, etc., etc. So you're literally going to jump off a plane straight into that.
I am do the fight here Saturday, leave straight away on the Sunday, land on Monday. I got a DAZN day with Frank Warren on Tuesday, big
I'll,
media day. Yeah.
I'll be there.
And then straight up to Manchester for the big Pat Brown debut. Sold out basically. About 3,000 for his pro debut. Brilliant. It's going to be a wild atmosphere. Cameron Vong against Jordan Flynn. Mark Dickinson against Farnell, English title. Really good card.
Okay. Right. Are you accepting Chris Eubank's £1 million bet?
Well, unfortunately, anyone smart enough knows what he's up to. And as I gave an interview today in the Ring magazine, um, when I stuck it on Shalom for the bet, which, I'm not saying wasn't, you know, a real offer, but he quickly decided to quote the regulations of the British Boxing Board of Control to say, we can't bet, we're not allowed to bet. And actually, I can't be bothered to get it on my phone, but we all received an email from the board recently stating Regulation 30, which is that any member, i.e. licence holder, cannot bet, advise anyone else to bet, permit to bet on any event they have any involvement with. So this lot, for clicks and views and clout, decide to put out a video where they know I can't accept it. And, you know, and by the way, the bet wasn't even with Chris Eubank Jr. The bet was with Benjamin Shalom. But Eubank knows I can't bet. That's why it's putting up. And I would never have a bet with Chris Eubank Jr. Ever. Because there's a reason for that. And I only bet with certain people. Unfortunately, I will lose my license. And that's probably what they want me to do, is to comment on it and say, yeah, I'll take the bet. Yeah, yeah. And then I get called before the license and I get done for 100 grand. So I'm not falling into their tricks. It was a fantastic bit of clout and it got them some views. But I guess that's about it.
So if he was allowed to do it, you still wouldn't do it?
Not with Chris Eubank.
Why specifically not Chris Eubank?
I don't want to go into it. It's not. I'm not about that life. But you know, I only bet with certain people.
Okay. It's an interesting comment. People can pick their layers from it. Did you think it was a bit much, the 100 grand fine for that, or not?
I thought it was expensive. You know,
I've heard your jokes.
some people felt it was okay. I did. You know, no, I did think it was a lot of money, to be honest.
You did,
but you know, I've seen all the interviews. I guess the key is, where does it go?
Yeah, big question.
I do believe. I don't know if you spoke to the board about this. I do actually believe they put the fines, or an element of their fines, towards some kind of fund for. I don't want to confirm that, but yeah, I do believe there is something that goes towards that kind of stuff from the board.
Well, yeah, I think somebody got in touch and said, a rep from the board said that a part of it, obviously, I don't know what part of it means, but Boxers in Need program, it goes to that.
Good.
And I think Robert Smith's made some comments about it goes to other things like staffing costs, etc., etc. But
yeah, well, look, I mean, you know, I think as long as there's a significant element of it that goes towards something like that, that's good. I mean, that was 100 grand. Obviously, paid all those fighters 50 grand as well. I don't know if any of the fighters have received that yet. But that's 150. And then we'll see what happens in due course.
What did you make of the Piers Morgan thing? Were you there for that?
I wasn't, no. But listen, I mean, the numbers have been massive. And I think Piers did a fantastic job. And I thought it was quite a touching interview at times. I thought they both spoke very well. I thought Eubank Jr. was very honest about his situation, you know, with his old man and his relationship. And Conor was, you know, quite supportive of that at times. And there was a few naughty bits said backwards and forwards, but I thought it was great viewing.
Are you surprised that Conor Benn was willing to shake Eubank's hand at the end? I find that a little bit surprising, given the context.
Yeah, but Conor's got a great heart, you know. Yeah. You know that. I mean, yeah. He's a really good kid. And I think, although he's extremely hot-headed, you know, this was obviously post cooling down after Eggate. So, yeah, I think just Conor's a good kid. Like, he doesn't, you know, I think if he can show compassion, he will. But obviously he's fired up at the same time. And he's training like an absolute monster.
Do you expect Chris Eubank Sr. to be involved in this build-up?
I've got a funny feeling he'll be there at some point. I don't know whether that's on the night, whether that's in the build-up. And, you know, like, I stand on the same kind of line as Conor. I really hope he is. I mean, I think, you know, you'd always want your dad to be there in a moment like this, I feel, you know, especially as an ex-fighter and with the rivalry. But, you know, I think it's something like that is personal, and I don't think we should really speculate. And, you know, it's not for us to talk about that relationship. It's up for them to find a way to hopefully mend it.
Any ticket update for
that? Limited tickets left. I think well over 60,000 gone. So, yeah, it's going to be a complete sellout.
I mean, it's crazy. It's going to come around very soon. I mean,
I know, and everyone's talking about it. Like, over here, people coming up to me talking about that fight. Like that, you know, obviously, fortunately, unfortunately, whatever you want to say, the press conference went globally viral. And everyone is talking about that fight.
They are. Literally, even I'm getting stopped in the street and being asked about my opinion about it. I mean, it's, yeah. Can you give us any updates about... Oh, actually, just to go finish off on Conor Benn, actually, in Eubank. As we'd always like to ask you about Simon Jordan's comments about this being a circus, etc. Uh,
Right.
I
Oh,
mean,
just do you see him? Do you see him trying to goad me about the bet as well? Because he knows I can't. I can't. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, Eddie. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna put your money where your mouth is, mate. And you're this snake oil. So I mean, snake oil. Mate, is there anyone more slimy than him? I mean, let's be honest. Um, his comments about it was it is the public are being fooled. It's a circus. What is he talking about? It's two world class fighters. Two world class fighters. One ranked number one in the world in welterweight. One ranked in the top 10 or 15 at middleweight. What's circus about it? Like, it just so happens their fathers were two of the greatest British fighters of all time, who had the biggest rivalry in the history of British boxing. And now their sons, who are two world ranked fighters, are fighting each other. What's the circus, mate? And why are you so bitter that the fight is the biggest fight in British boxing and it's going to sell 65,000 sellout at Tottenham and they're both going to make an absolute fortune? Be happy for them. It's a great fight. Everyone's going to have a great night. We're all going to enjoy it and be happy with a smile. You remember that? What that is? Smile.
do you think he'll be there on the night?
Simon, depends if he's getting paid.
Oh, I'd be surprised if he wasn't there. I mean, Talksport or whatever, or someone, yeah.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a major event without Simon Jordan, to be fair. I mean,
Right. What can you tell us about AJ? Give me something.
Not a lot. I'm not. Look, he resumed training and cut a long story short, without going into too much detail about any injury, he's not really ready to start camp. He needs another 8 weeks or so on his injury. He had a little bit of a setback, and he won't be punching for about that period of time.
What, for another 8 weeks?
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
So really, that's you're looking at kind of end of May for camp. So you're looking at the back end of the summer probably to fight again.
August, September.
Yeah, August, September. I mean, like we, when I say we're not in any tearing rush, I mean, we'd like to know what the next move is, but until he's physically ready, we're not in any tearing rush. I mean, there's only really two fights that he's really locked in for, and that's Dubois and Fury. And at the moment, obviously, the Fury fight doesn't look like it's a goer, but we can't really start planning too much until we know he's fully ready to resume training. So it was a minor setback, but he's got to be physically right. And it's like I said, it's an injury that he's had for a while, and resume training and just not ready to start camping full until it's 100%, which it's not.
When I spoke to Frank Warren last week, he said that July would be the month that Dubois will be fighting in. Excuse me. I gave him like the two possibilities of the Usyk rematch and the AJ rematch. He didn't obviously comment on either. He just said that Dubois told him what he wants, and if that is the case, everyone will be happy. So, can we rule out Frank Warren's comments referring to AJ Dubois rematch then? If he's not,
I mean, I don't rule it out for what's next for AJ, but we've not had any conversations with Frank about that fight really in any depth. So if he's been in discussions for a fight and he's got a fight planned, it's not with us.
okay. So, outside of those two options, what's your kind of C, D, and E then from that?
There's loads of options. I mean, Caballero, Wilder, Parker, but I'm just being honest. Like the two fights that he really wants is Dubois and Fury. Not saying if we don't get those fights, we won't fight again. But at the moment, we're just waiting for him to be able to resume full training camp and punch properly.
Is there any truth in Wilder and Ngannou? Have you heard that?
Not really. It's been discussed in a few rooms, but I don't believe there's any substance to it.
Okay. Last one on AJ. Is his fight likely to be, if he fights in summer, is it like to be here or is it like to be possibly in Saudi?
I don't know. I don't know. Or America. Listen, I'd love him to go back and fight in America, if I'm honest. But at the moment, honestly, that's not even been discussed either.
Okay. Was you fooled by that Tyson Fury video at all?
No,
Okay. I didn't think you would be. Dimitri Bivol, what's his situation at the moment?
nothing really. We're just waiting on His Excellency, to be honest with you. I mean, look, we've had 4 fights in Saudi. We're ready to fight whoever His Excellency wants us to fight. There's been no conversations with Team Benavides at all. I don't know where that came from. And I think His Excellency will want to make the Better Biev rematch. You know, I think that's a fight that makes sense. The first two were epic, and whatever his requests, we'll be ready for. You know, we've pledged our future to Riyadh season with Dimitri Bivol, and we're just awaiting news.
I know, obviously, you did the press conference for Fisher and Allen, the rematch in May. Undercard for that, Eddie. Have you announced an undercard for that yet?
We haven't. No, we'll be doing it next week. Tickets will go on sale next week, and we'll make a full undercard announcement before they go on sale next week. So we've had a huge, like, we do ticket sign-ups to be sent out information on when the tickets go. We've had over 5,000 sign-ups just for ticket information. It's going to sell very quick at the Copper Box, that fight, and it will go on official sale next week. We'll announce the ticket dates this week.
Did you consider going bigger than the Copper Box, or
O2 wasn't available. I think it sells out the bottom tier at O2 comfortably, which is like 9,000. But we've got 7,000 at the Copper Box, so it's going to be this. The atmosphere will be incredible.
okay? Just a couple of other things. The WBO ordering Parker and Usyk. Do you see that fight coming off there?
I don't know. I don't think so. Listen, I'd love Joe to get a shot at the world title. I think Dubois should fight him. I mean, they were scheduled to fight. You know, I feel like that should be rescheduled. But, you know, I hope Joe gets his shot. I don't know if it will be against Usyk, if I'm honest. But I hope he does get a shot at the world title.
You've got no involvement in this Canelo Riyadh card in May, have you?
Yes, yeah, we've been helping him out with it. But no, as of yet, no fighters on the card. No, just helping him out with the show.
Right. What, is there a possibility one of your fights could feature on there?
Possibly. We agreed a fight with His Excellency and Eddie Reynoso, actually, between a Matchroom and Canelo fighter, but we're waiting on further news.
Okay. What was your take on the TJ Dehaney situation with Nick Paul? What did you think?
I mean, look, he had him in a headlock. You should never react like that. You know, he should definitely have had a point deducted. Worst case, a lot of people saying he should have been disqualified. I don't know. It's a big call to do that, but the referee saw it up close. I mean, he should have taken a point or something. Not that it would have mattered in the fight, but yeah, hot head from Mr. Ball. But you know, very exciting fighter.
All right, just the last one. Just map me out your next 2 or 3 months with shows.
God, okay, right. So we're in Sydney this Saturday.
Yeah.
Then next Friday we're at Altrincham Ice Rink for Pat Brown's debut in a next gen card. Then the week after that is a week off. Then April 12th, the massive fight, Boots Stanionis at the Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. Then the week after that, we're in Sheffield, Dalton Smith, Josh Warrington, Josh Padley, Ishmael Davis. The week after that, small matter of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Eubank against Benn. The Friday after that, we're running the New York show for Ring Magazine with Haney against Ramirez, Garcia against Rowley, Teofimo against Barboza. The day after that is obviously Canelo in Riyadh. And then the next week after that, week off, May 17, Johnny Fisher against Dave Allen. Looks like May 24th could be in Mexico. And then June, there'll be a big all-British clash to be announced soon. And also a big fight in America as well. If Cambosa's come through.
Clash?
Sorry? In June.
In June. That's interesting. What weight?
I'm not telling you. And then hopefully, if he comes through, Hitchens against Cambosos in New York in June as well.
Okay. Are you doing a 5v5 in August?
Possibly.
Just going off some comments that
I thought you said as well they were the last couple.
yeah, I know, but you know, Ed, come on, just 2 more
Come on,
minutes.
I need to get out of bed. Come on.
2 more minutes, quickly. When I spoke to Josh Taylor last week, he said that he suggested that before that Barboza fight with Cattrall, that you guys weren't kind of interested in making that trilogy fight. Sam Jones kind of come back yesterday and said that if Taylor is to beat Esserman, in May, then he'd be happy to do that fight on a 5v5 if it was to happen in
Hmm.
the summer.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
we'd be up for that fight. I mean, I was never not up for the fight, but Jack was just focused on trying to fight for the world title. Obviously, he got beat. Situation changes, and if the trilogy becomes available, it's a massive fight. So we'll have to see.
All right, listen, I'll let you get to bed. It's only early.
Cheers, mate.
It's only early there.
Well, no, it's not early here. It's about 9 o'clock or something. I don't know. No, later. 9:30. I've
All
been on the road for about 3 days. I'll
right.
catch you later.
Okay, Edward Hearn, thank you very much.